Shiny object syndrome. This is the number one reason why people fail when trying to start an online business. If you're tired of wasting time and money on courses that never deliver results, if you're tired of jumping from one business model to another without ever finishing anything, you might be suffering from this dangerous problem. But there is a way out. After helping thousands of people go from complete beginners to full-time internet marketers, I finally understood what really causes shiny object syndrome and, more importantly, how to eliminate it permanently. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal the real cause of this problem that drains your energy, time, and money. Then I'll walk you through my 3-part framework that will help you stop this pattern for good and ultimately free you from one of the most destructive behaviors an online entrepreneur can have. My name is William Souza. I'm the CEO and founder of Wealthy Minds, where I help people thrive online. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss my next video, and let's jump right into it. Here's the thing, if you've been jumping from one business model to another, one course to another, one training to another, if you've been lacking clarity and all you do is to chase new things and all you have is a desire to build a business or make money online or change your financial situation, but you don't really have a clear plan to get there, so you keep just trying a bunch of random things, there's a very good chance that you are struggling with this shiny object syndrome, which is a problem that affects probably most beginners in the internet marketing space. I think it's the most common one and also one of the biggest ones, like one of the biggest factors that really prevent people from achieving results on the internet. I've been coaching people in the internet marketing space for several years now. I've helped thousands of people build successful businesses on the internet, starting from scratch. I feel like I really have a good understanding of it now. So hopefully I'll be able to share with you the way I understand this. And then I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the process I recommend that you try for getting rid of this problem once and for all. Let's go to my computer here. And the way I see it, it's really an emotional trap, an addiction. And just like any other addiction, that thing produces a emotional reward for them. And it's exactly what happens when people are implementing something. They are normally struggling, they are getting disheartened by the problems they're facing. But then when they start something new, when they embark on a new journey, they renew their hopes, they get excited again, they start to think about how awesome the future will be, a very positive state of mind that's just incredible. And then when they start actually executing that thing, they get back to the reality, and then they just need that thing again. They need to experience that again. It's like a drug. Like when the effect of the drug vanishes, they just need to take the drug again. Ultimately, it comes down to two parts of a problem. So this is the first part of the problem: expectation versus reality. When we are starting something new, we have an expectation for how awesome that thing will be. As human beings, we are biased in the way we think, in the way we make decisions, in the way we analyze things. Most of the times when we analyze something, we want to find reasons to confirm what we already want or the things we already believe in, versus finding things that just reveal the truth and that perhaps may go completely against what we want or believe. When we have that new journey ahead of us, we tend to look for things that confirm that will be an amazing one. That new business model or course or whatever will solve all of our problems and will finally make life better and easier. So we look at the potential of that thing. For you to tap into that potential, it takes more than just buying a course or watching some videos. You actually have to go through an implementation process. You need to build the business. And building a business will naturally force you to face some obstacles, problems, challenges. I don't know a single successful business owner and entrepreneur, online or offline, that has not become really a master at solving problems and handling tough situations. That is actually what makes a successful entrepreneur. When someone starts that implementation process, is still with just the dream and the big goal and the awesome life they will be living in the future in their mind. They start with that state of mind that's very positive, but that can be completely destroyed in face of the first challenge, of the first problem. When the first thing goes against that expectation, when the first thing doesn't happen as they were planning, well, that is enough for the amazing state of mind to become a very tough one. And then procrastination kicks in, and then people start finding excuses not to do things, and then they just lose motivation and they feel like it's not for them, and then they just give up. They quit. They throw in the towel and have to go to the next thing. Another thing to consider here in this expectation versus reality situation is success stories. So when we try to get inspired to start something new, we tend to see other people's success and how much money they're making or what kind of life they're living and why things are so awesome for them. And then we take that not just as inspiration, which is a positive thing, but also as a reference. You know, the element that we have as a reference for what our life will be. And it's not wrong. It could be. However, we're looking at their situation after the final outcome. We're not looking at their situation, at those success stories when they were just in the beginning of that journey, when they were starting to implement this strategy. Because they also faced several hassles and headaches and problems and obstacles. Before you get to that point, you're going to have to go through the reality of actually implementing it. And it's not going to be pretty. It's going to be full of challenges and issues, and you're going to have to be prepared to handle that. There's another component here, however, that has to be addressed as well, and that's very important, which is the fear. A lot of us have fears that we need to overcome in order to not just take action when implementing a business, but take consistent action, which means take action today, then take action tomorrow, and then take action again after tomorrow, and keep doing it in an unstoppable way until we achieve an outcome. If you just analyze yourself in a very honest way, and this is not easy, look at ourselves in the mirror and understand how we feel about something and what we are afraid of, what are our fears. This is not easy. This is the reason why we pay therapists to help us in this process, but you have to do it. And if you can do it, then you're going to start to understand yourself better. And this is going to help you understand your decisions and take control over your decisions. So for example, some people are afraid to fail. They dream about the awesome life they want to have, where they spend more time with their loved ones, where they're seen as very successful by their neighbors, their family members, their relatives. And they dream about that life where they can have a lot of time freedom and enjoy life and travel to any place at any time with no financial concerns, and a life where they don't worry about paying bills or having to work at a job that they hate. They dream about that. They envision that life for themselves, but they feel really scared to look at the possibility of just not being able to accomplish that. What happens if they fail to build that life for themselves? And then they just find themselves in a situation where they will have to settle for a normal life. A life with financial problems, having to work at a job that perhaps is not the most inspiring one, a life where they sometimes are unable to help their friends, their family, and provide to them. A normal life could feel like a miserable life. Sometimes people just can't handle facing this potential reality because it's something that could happen if they fail. So if they actually execute something till the end consistently and it doesn't work, they will be faced with this horrible reality. So how can they avoid this and prevent this from happening? By not doing it. If they don't do the thing and they just keep planning to do the thing, then that horrible thing never happens. They never face that failure because they still have to do it. They will do it. They will win. They will make it happen. And if something starts to go wrong, then they discover a new thing. And now the amazing life will become a reality because there's this new thing that's just awesome. And this is just an example. There are many other types of fears that people can have. What if I'm not good enough? Deep inside, we are afraid of not being that good, not being that smart, not being that intelligent, not being able to do what someone else actually could do, could execute successfully. And every time we are faced with that fear or with the possibility of that fear, we then just reset the whole process and avoid it. And this is precisely what makes many people start over and over again with new things all the time without ever completing anything. If you can reflect about these things and see how they apply to you and what fears you might be dealing with, what expectations might be holding you back, if you can understand this, shed some light on these elements here, I'm pretty sure that you will already have a better understanding of your situation and will start to make better decisions. Something else that you need for you to be able to actually make better decisions besides understanding what's going on in your mind, and it is to have a clear plan. Many people, they just have a goal, not even that. They have a dream. They dream of making X amount of dollars per day, or traveling the world, or firing their boss, or living an amazing lifestyle life, or whatever. That's a dream. That's not a plan. It doesn't give any hint on how to achieve it. A plan means, for example, understanding that you want to use a certain business model or you want to build a certain type of business to achieve that goal, to achieve that dream. This how is very important. But for you to determine this how, there are a few elements you need to go through first so that you can make a conscious decision. Because if you make a bad or an empty decision here that is just like you're making a decision for the sake of doing it, but you don't really know why you're making that decision, it's not going to be strong enough. And when anything challenges your decision, you're going to let it go. You're going to change your decision. You're not going to stick with it. First thing you have to analyze is your own situation. How much money you have? Like, what's your budget for starting your business? Realistically, how much time can you invest in starting a business? I mean, just try to understand your current situation. Then understand your skills. What are you good at? What you have experience with. Are you good dealing with people? Are you good selling things? Are you good analyzing numbers? Like perhaps you have an analytical background and you're really good with numbers and trying to find patterns and understand how to optimize and improve things based on numbers. And also think about the things that you're not good at, your weak points. Then think about your preferences. What do you like? What do you don't like? Do you like showing your face on the internet? Or you hate it? Would you like to have a business that's based on social media or an anonymous business? Do you like more dynamic types of businesses where things are changing all the time and you're always discovering new things, and sometimes you face some big failures, but sometimes you find some explosive success as well? Or you prefer more stable things, more reliable things that perhaps will not give you any explosive success overnight, but will allow you to build something that will be reliable, consistent, and once you get to a certain level, you're going to have like a minimum income that you're generating. You're going to be able to plan your financial life based on that income. Also, I think that something very important is to think about what others are doing that's working for them. But here, I'm not talking about courses or even videos like mine, for example. I'm talking about seeing what they're doing in practice. Like, for example, if there's a marketing guru that you like, you can certainly take into consideration all the things that that guru promotes to you. Perhaps you like them, you trust them, and it's fine. But also see what they're doing in their own business. What kind of decisions they're making in their business, what kind of things they're choosing to be part of their business, and what things they're just avoiding. And you can also see it on social media, if you're watching a YouTube video, perhaps sometimes checking the comments can be useful to see what other regular people are doing that's working for them. Not just what is being taught to you, not just the information that's being delivered to you, but try to uncover some information yourself. Look around and see what is working in the market, in your niche, in your industry, other people implementing the same business model you want to implement. Then finally decide who you want to trust. I suggest that you don't trust anyone blindly, but of course you should have some sources of information that you consider to be more trustworthy so that you can make decisions. Because like sometimes people say that something is disappearing and that is being replaced by a new thing. And some people say that just to get more clicks and just to gain more visibility. They don't really believe in those things. But if you just take their advice, you may take your business in a completely different direction without properly evaluating that. Having people who you trust and consuming information from trustworthy people, I think that can make a lot of difference because it can avoid unnecessary distractions, basically. And now, finally, let's go to my 3-part framework. So the first part is the expectation. Here you have the learning curve. It's really what you're going to have to go through to get results. Never think that there's going to be no learning curve. Even if you're told that there's a learning curve for anything you decide to do. If you decide to learn how to dance or how to swim or how to drive or how to draw, any human activity that you decide to learn is going to have a learning curve. If you're expecting to do something, just clicking a few buttons, following some simple instructions without having to think about it, like just doing it in a very dumb way and getting results, you will get frustrated because it's not how it works. You're going to face problems. You're going to have some headaches. Things will not always go your way. And in fact, when you're a beginner, most of the times things will go differently. Like they're not going to go as you were expecting them to go. And it's not a bad thing. It's an opportunity for you to learn. Thus, learning curve. We call it a learning curve because it's a bunch of opportunities that you have to learn. The next component, once you accept the learning curve, is to prepare your mindset to deal with the learning curve. So first thing, don't just think about how much money you want to make. Okay, that's what you want to do. You know that. You don't have to keep repeating that to yourself. Now, what you need to do is to get passionate about the path that will take you to that $1,000 day. So if you're going to be doing affiliate marketing, you have to get passionate about affiliate marketing because then you will want to learn more about it in an in-depth way. And you will discover that oftentimes that's all you need to succeed. When you're faced with a problem, instead of thinking about how you can avoid that problem, how you can run away from that problem, and how you can go to the next shine object, you can think about how you can solve that problem, how you can really master that thing and never experience that problem again, like become fully prepared to deal with that situation when it happens again. Also, you want to have a problem-solving mindset, a problem or a solution actually oriented mindset. Something isn't working. Okay, great, go make your research. Ask ChatGPT for help. Go to forums, communities, search for videos, check the comments. Do the best you can to really find a solution for the problem that's in front of you. Building and running a successful business is all about solving problems. So you need to be comfortable with doing it and you have to get used to doing it. Don't keep just hoping that things will simply work for you. Or if you have a training or course, don't expect that every time you face a problem, you submit a support ticket and get a reply. This is not how it works. You're not going to be able to delegate that responsibility of solving the problem to someone else. You can get insights, you can get suggestions from other people, but ultimately it's your responsibility and you have to be responsible for what you're going to be doing. This is really important. People can help you. Trainings and courses can help you. Coaches and mentors can give you amazing insights, but the execution of the thing, actually building the business, making those micro decisions and actually building the thing, it's your responsibility. And even if you don't feel like this, well, you have to start feeling like this. You have to embrace this responsibility because this is the only way to make it work. Otherwise, you're going to be waiting for an external factor, an external resource that's going to solve all of your problems, and that resource will never come to you. The third component of my framework are the reminders. Reminders are very important because you need to be constantly reminding you of why you need it. Why you need to make that business model work for you. And it's not what you want, it's what you need. Wanting sometimes is not enough. One thing is someone who needs to make a business work so that they can pay their bills. Now, someone who can already pay their bills and keep their current standard of living without making the business work, yeah, they want to make some extra money because that would be really cool, but they don't really need it. They can still live a pretty comfortable life without it. So if you have a pretty comfortable life without making your business work for you, then that's not the reason why you need it. There must be something bigger. That's your biggest motto. Discover that thing and then keep constantly reminding you of that thing. Also, thinking about the business model, try to remember why you chose that business model. Because when you are presented to a new thing and you feel impelled to chase that thing, if you know why you chose your current business model, if that's very clear to you, then it's going to be easier for you to justify the decision of staying and sticking with the thing you're working with now instead of moving on and going to the next thing. You have to understand why you can't quit. Quitting should not be an option for you because quitting is oftentimes the easy way out of the problem. Winners never quit and quitters never win. If quitting is an option for you, eventually you're going to be faced with a situation where you're going to take that option. So you must make quitting not an option for you. I think that if you take action and implement these things, they will make a massive difference in your process of making decisions and how you're able to stick with something, even with challenges and obstacles and things that are not as you expected. Make sure to subscribe and like the video. I always like to leave a link in the description for the Wealthy Minds Academy. It's a place where you can register for free to get access to some really cool training materials, webinar recordings, training guides, case studies. It's completely free to join, so you can just click the link in the description, sign up. So that's it, and thank you for watching.